What's up guys, my name is Stoody and I'd like to welcome you all back to another video. In today's video I'm going to be doing my AFL Round 16 tips for the 2024 AFL season. Before we get into this week's tips, let's go ahead and see how I went last week. So last week I got 5 out of 6 correct tips, which now moves me up to 101 correct tips for the season in total. So let's go ahead and see what ones I got correct and what ones I got incorrect. I tipped Carlton to defeat Geelong. I tipped Port Adelaide to defeat Brisbane, however that tip does count as that match was rigged. I tipped Melbourne to defeat North Melbourne. I tipped Essendon to defeat West Coast, and I tipped Fremantle to defeat Gold Coast. Me and the only one I got incorrect was that I tipped the GWS Giants to defeat Sydney. It is now time to move on to this week's tips. So on Friday night we have Brisbane taking on Melbourne at the Gabba. I'm going to be tipping Brisbane in this one by a rigged amount. Let's just be real, the AFL will do whatever they can to get Brisbane into the finals to grow the game in Queensland. So Brisbane, they're just going to win because of match fixing, they're not that good of a team. I mean, not only that, Melbourne, they have a lot of injuries, plus they're on the decline. Whereas Brisbane, they're on the decline, but the AFL aren't allowing them to be on the decline, and they are protecting Brisbane with the match fixing. So I think Brisbane win this mainly because of that. I mean, Melbourne have a million injuries. Brisbane, they're protected, especially at home. So Brisbane will win this one. Moving on to Saturday afternoon, we have North Melbourne taking on the Western Bulldogs at Marvel Stadium. I'm going to be tipping the Western Bulldogs in this one by 18 points. The Bulldogs are coming off the bye, and North Melbourne have had a couple of close losses against some decent teams. So North are in some good form. If they're going to knock off someone, it's going to be soon. The thing is, will they knock off the Bulldogs? I don't know. I feel like they'll definitely be competitive in this game, but I guess it's just a safe option to tip the Bulldogs because they're simply the better team, and I can rely on them a lot more than I can rely on North Melbourne. I believe the only time I tipped North Melbourne this year, they got the win. I think I tipped them one other time, but they lost. So, yeah, when I tipped them, they did win, but I just don't feel like they'll win this one. Maybe they'll win, maybe not. Who knows? I had a similar sort of feeling last week for the Melbourne game, and they almost won that, so they might almost win this one. The other Saturday afternoon game, we have Sydney taking on Fremantle at the SCG. I'm going to tipping Sydney in this one by 24 points. Sydney, they're due for a loss soon, surely, but I can't really see Fremantle beating Sydney at the SCG. I think Fremantle will definitely be competitive because they'll want to be better than what they were last time when they faced Sydney when it was at Optus. But I just feel like Sydney at home would just be far too strong for Fremantle. Sydney, they're just a really good team. They're in some amazing form. And I just can't see them losing this one. I think they'll lose soon, but I don't think they'll lose this one. Moving on to Saturday twilight, we have the Gold Coast Suns taking on Collingwood at Metricon Stadium. I'm going to tip Collingwood in this one by 4 points. Gold Coast are undefeated at home, but have not won a game outside of home. Collingwood, they're a good team, and I think they can win anywhere, really. When it comes to the Suns, I mean, they might win this one because they're so good at home. But they're versing Collingwood. I don't remember them versing too many, top teams at home yet. But Collingwood will be a tough game. They might win that, but I'm going to be tipping Collingwood in what will be a really close game. And I would back Collingwood in pretty much any close game. So that's why I've gone with Collingwood in a close one. Saturday night, we have Adelaide taking on the GWS Giants at Adelaide Oval. I'm going to tipping GWS in this one by 26 points. Adelaide just aren't that good this year. They're a bit overrated coming into the year. I knew they wouldn't make the finals, whereas GWS, they've been underperforming a little bit. They did get flogged against Sydney. Well, they did fight back, but they were getting flogged. Almost sort of pulled off a comeback, but not really. The umpires were never going to let that happen, I don't think. So I think GWS should be too strong, too good for Adelaide in Adelaide. I think GWS will be looking to make their move up the ladder pretty soon. So I think they'll make sure they get the job done here. The other Saturday night game, we have Geelong taking on Essendon at the MCG. Now, this one's a tough one. I'm going to be tipping Geelong in this one by 13 points. Mainly because, when Essendon versus the good teams, they don't get over the line. They've been versing a lot of, lower teams lately. but they've been struggling to beat them. I mean, they are winning to their credit, but they're struggling to beat the lower teams. Which is why I feel like Geelong, they're very desperate for a win. They need one big time, and Essendon, their form's a bit weird. And I've never trusted Essendon when it starts coming to this time of the season, because this is usually around about the time they start their slump. So I'm going to go with Geelong. I think Geelong get the job done in this. I think Essendon are a fake contender. They're pretenders. I think Geelong are pretenders too, but they're a lot less pretenders than Essendon are, I think. And Geelong have, the runs on the board. Essendon don't. So I'm going to tip Geelong in this one. In one that's a bit against the grain, because only 37% have gone with Geelong. Moving on to Sunday afternoon, we have St Kilda taking on Port Adelaide at Marvel Stadium. I'm going to be doing Port Adelaide in this one by 9 points. This is a game that can go either way. Port Adelaide are in some really bad form, but they're only versing St Kilda. And it is at Marvel, I know, but just a lot of people are tipping Port in this. I mean, if it was 50-50, I'd probably almost go St Kilda. But because it's like 80-20 in favour of Port, I'm going the safe option, going with Port in this one. Port are a better team, just in some really, really bad form. So maybe they'll win, but I think they will. I think it'll be a reasonably close game. So this one will go either way. But I'm going to go with Port. So the other Sunday afternoon game, we have Richmond VFL taking on Carlton at the MCG. I'm going to team in Carlton in this one by a rigged amount. Now, I am attending this game. Well, I should be, hopefully. I do have the tickets. I have 2 tickets, right? I was meant to go with my dad, but he can no longer attend. So at the time I'm recording this video, I do have a spare ticket. Maybe or maybe it isn't, been taken up by now. I'll put a subtitle on screen if it has, but one person, Cardi, said he might be able to come at half-time because he's at the St Kilda game. He's a St Kilda supporter. Whereas, I wouldn't mind giving the ticket to someone who will be able to watch the full game, who's maybe a Richmond supporter, and someone who I sort of trust, and, not just some random. I don't want to give it to just some random that I don't really know. I want to give it to someone who I trust, someone who I've spoken to a little bit online. So if anyone's interested, feel free to message me on Instagram or whatever social media you might have, if the ticket is still available at this time that you guys are watching this. Anyway, the AFL, I know the AFL will do whatever they can to rob Richmond. They always do. So that's what's probably going to happen, and I'll probably end up leaving the game at 3/4 time or whatever. But I've got front row tickets in level 4, so that should be good. I'll take photos, videos, that sort of thing while I'm there. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy that. And yeah, next game. Moving on to Sunday twilight, we have West Coast taking on Hawthorn at Optus Stadium. I'm going to be Hawthorn in this one by a rigged amount. The AFL are doing whatever they can to help Hawthorn get back into the 8. I guess they miss the Hawthorn free-peat sort of thing. I don't know. But they're protecting Hawthorn. They're protecting fuckwits like Ginnivan and fucking Watson, those sort of wankers. I mean, their team is full of fucking ferals, Hawthorn. And I'm sure they'll cheat with their ducking and all that to get themselves the win in this one. So yeah, I guess that's it for my tips. Feel free to leave your tips in the comment section down below. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment like this. Be sure to become a channel member. Just click the join button next to my name. Also, be sure to subscribe to my premium member, Sean Ducks. Link to his channel is in the description. Also, be sure to subscribe to my other YouTube channels. Be sure to subscribe to my backup channel, Stoody TV. Link to that is in the description. Also, be sure to subscribe to my second YouTube channel, Stoody Archives. Link to that will also be in the description. Also, be sure to join my Discord server, it is called Australian Sports Community. Link to that is also in the description. Also, be sure to follow me on my other social media accounts. I have Instagram, I have Twitter, and I also have TikTok. The username for all those, Stoody YT. Links to all those will also be in the description. I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you all in the next video.